Hey, sportsman, John Bergsman here from the Great Lakes Fisherman's Digest and the Great Lakes Insider Fishing Report. Calling in today live to the Eastern Upper Peninsula with our fishing reporter out of the kind of sandwiched, actually, Tom, in between Sault Ste. Marie and Drummond Island there at Wilderness Treasures. So, Tom, how has the fishing been up by you?
The fishing this summer, John, has just been tremendous. We got walleye, perch are biting. We have salmon biting all over the place, pike everywhere. It's just been a tremendous summer.
I've been noticing a lot of pictures coming in that there's been a lot of Atlantics caught right down there in the main St. Mary's River system near to where you guys are at. So how are they targeting those? Are they fishing in the river itself? Are they fishing out on the main lake? What's been the plan for those guys?
The Atlantics are big right at the mouth of the St. Mary's River near Detour.
Okay.
And they're trolling them just like you used to troll for the big salmon, for the king salmon. You know, trolling with spoons. You can use dipsy divers. Most guys are using downriggers. And just targeting that thermocline that those fish are in. They're a little bit different than the king salmon. They don't hug the bottom as much. So they're suspended, and the guys are just been whaling them. And then if they don't catch those, there's a ton of lake trout out there also.
Exactly, and I noticed that all the posts I've been seeing, whether it's from your store or Justin Bupp down there out of Drummond Island or some of the guides out of Sault Ste. Marie, they said the size of this year's Atlantic crop has been extraordinarily big, where a lot of 8 to 12 pound fish, where that for an Atlantic is actually a very, very nice fish.
Yeah, it's probably a big secret, I guess, around here that I don't hear much about is I just had a man come into the store a few minutes ago from Cedarville, and he was out fishing on the east end of the islands down there, and his buddy brought in a 20-pounder. That's almost unheard of for
Yeah,
Atlantics.
I've never even heard. So that's the first reference to a 20-pound Atlantic I've ever heard. So I know the real money fish for you guys up for Wilderness Treasures and your whole local area has got to be the perch and the walleye. So talk to me, how are guys targeting the walleye, and where are they going, from Rayburn to Muskong? Is that a pretty good guess?
Yeah, the walleyes now, they're still catching them right in Muskong Bay, but, the water's starting to warm up and the weeds are getting thick. So they're actually starting to transition out to the channel. It's been great. The guys are trolling with bandits. Still a lot of crawler harnesses out in the channel using 3-ounce bottom bouncers. But they're really starting to pick them up around Round Island in Rayburn.
Okay.
And about 14 foot right in Rayburn Bay. If you look at a map, you'll be able to see where that is. It's right around Round Island, but you come in towards mainland a little bit. The fish are staging in 12 to 14 foot. And it makes it pretty good picking.
Oh yeah, that's an easy depth to catch them. And I know we're just a little bit early, but come August, a lot of those fish will be very accessible by being able to bump the tops of the rock piles and the dumping piles that are throughout that whole area of that lower channel of the river. Correct?
Yes, for sure. And the thing is, with the water being as high and as cold as it is, I truly think our years of having to troll the main channel, the 28 to 35 foot, those days I think are gone. I think with the water being as cold and as high as it is, it might be a transitional thing now where you're going to be picking them up in 18 to 20 foot without having to get right out in the middle of the shipping channel.
Well, I'll tell you, that would be really a boon for the recreational fishermen in your area. And are we perch fishing? I know that's a really big thing, especially from Drummond up to you, the older crowd. Myself, I'm 58, and we really have a soft spot in our hearts for perch. They taste great. How are guys catching perch right now?
This year has been really strange for perch. There was no perch run on Drummond or Cedarville or even in the Sioux, because we had ice in Muskong until the 7th of May, which this is the first time I've ever seen that.
Yeah.
So the perch actually came in and did their thing and left before anyone could go fishing for them. So right now, they're picking them up with the walleye. Guys are going out, like I said, in that Rayburn area, and they're picking up 4 or 5 20, 21-inch walleyes and half a dozen to a dozen jumbo perch. If you can get into the bays, into Muskong Bay, troll the reed lines, jig the reed lines, that's where the perch are. With the water being
Exactly.
so high, I think they're chasing the bait fish up in there, and they're hanging in there for a longer period of time now.
Well, and it's going to make for an incredible fall fishing season, I would imagine, with probably not quite so many numbers being taken out. There's going to be a lot more fish left for when they do make that fall migration up into Scotts and Potagassining and all those other bays that are in and around Drummond and
Yeah.
on to Cedarville and Hessel. So that's kind
Yes,
of a good
we're
thing.
looking for those numbers.
Exactly, exactly. Well, you've been a good supporter of the show. Talk to me a little bit about Wilderness Treasures. You know, it's one of those stores that a lot of people might drive by and think, fail to realize you've got everything that a fisherman needs right there where you turn to go to the boat launch. Talk to me about what you guys have got there in the store.
Well, we're kind of a unique store in our small town. We got to provide several different services. So we are actually a gift shop, a flower shop. We have a shoe store attached to the store, and then we have our bait and tackle. And a lot of the bait and tackle, you go to Jay's and you go to the Gander Mountain, well, I guess not Gander, but Cabela's and things like that, and they'll have stuff for every region of the United States, wherever you're going. What we try to do here is we try to really concentrate on the stuff that guys are going to need to catch fish in our area. I mean, we do have stuff for other places, but if you need to get some fishing stuff and you need to get information, either myself or my wife, we always know where the fish are. We're more than happy to pull out a map, give you a map, show you where to go and what to use. But we pack a lot of stuff in a little store.
Yeah, when I walked in the first time, I was a little taken back by it. I thought, oh, this is a gift shop. And then Dane Stanaway, a guide from up in Sault Ste. Marie, said, no, John. He said, this is a great little bait and tackle shop. And just what you said, it's specific to your region, and that specificity makes it really cool because anything that you have there, you can have confidence is working currently or has worked before or will work again right there in that Muskong, Main Channel, Rayber Bay, and the greater lower part of the St. Mary's River system. And I really love that about your store.
Well, thanks, John. We appreciate it. It's a lot of work trying to figure things out, but with the amount of people we have coming through, and we're all friends, like I say, we talk to people and people are laughing and having a good time. So it's a little easier for them to let us know what they're using and where they're catching them. So, it helps people transitioning up here for the summer or just coming up for a weekend. If you don't stop and ask, your chances are thinner of finding the fish. But if you just stop in and ask, it will improve your catch tremendously.
Yeah, exactly. Well, thanks so much for your support and for your time, Tom. And we're going to call you here in a couple, 2-3 weeks and get another updated report. Thanks again.
You bet. Thanks, John. You're doing a great job.
You bet. Talk to you later.
All right, bye-bye.
So just to recap what Tom talked to us about, it's really, I've been to Muskong many times as a tournament fisherman. I fished there probably 15 times, and it's a spinner bottom bouncer fishery. If you know how to fish a spinner and a bottom bouncer in Muskong to Rayber Bay, you're going to do awesome. Work the weed edges, work the gravel bar edges. You'll have a lot of success. Hey, thanks for joining us on the Eastern Upper Peninsula Fishing Report for Great Lakes Insider Fishing Report. We'll see you next week.